Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Lau with Kenshin Crafts. Today I wanted to just chat with you guys about the upcoming Chicago Pen Show. So if you are excited about that or want to know more about how I am going to be preparing for that, stick around for this video. And if you are new to my channel, consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about lots of fountain pen, stationery, journaling, and planning on my channel, mostly fountain pens. So yeah, if you're interested, definitely hit the subscribe button and don't forget to like the video down below. So, Chicago Pen Show. I am so excited for it. So excited, but yet at the same time a little stressed as well. The last day or two, I've been stressing out and having nightmares and dreams about catching the flight to Chicago and catching the flight out. But it's so silly because I am planning to drive there. So I think I was pondering between buying an airplane ticket from Minneapolis to Chicago, and that whole flight itself, the round trip, is about $230. Then I would have to also get a car, which would cost another $100 or so for 3 days. And I'm just like, that's $300 that I could be saving if I just drive there. And then I think the stress of driving there also affected me as well, because it's a 6.5-hour drive. And then if you include possibly traffic, then it's probably going to be even more. That's a lot of driving, and so it's just a lot of stress. But then I think I just needed to get that stress out of the way, which hopefully I have, and now I can just be super excited and ready for the pen show. So, nerves out of the way. I am very, very excited. I think I spoke with Claire Coco. If you have not followed her yet on YouTube, go check out her channel. She's just a lovely, soft-spoken person. I love hearing her stories about her fountain pens. She will also probably be there, most likely, and I spoke with her, and we'll be able to, just test each other's pens out. I think that's going to be so fun. That's one of the things about pen shows, is that if you have pen friends or know people on YouTube and make connections that way, that when you do meet up, it will be a lot easier to form that connection in person once you've had a good amount of talk online. And I try to do that with some of my viewers. And so if any of you guys are going to be at the Chicago Pen Show, watch out for me. You know how I look like. So and also I will be having this bag over there with me. So look for a brown Totoro bag. You'll know that it's me. And I wanted to talk about some of my plans as I will be at the Chicago Pen Show, and some of the things that I had to do to prepare for it. If it's going to be your very first pen show, I apologize. This video is going to come out a little late, but one of the main things about a pen show is getting your nibs and your pens custom grounded. You can get your nibs and your pens custom grounded by sending your pen in, but there's a queue with that, and then you also have to wait for your pen to come back. Some people don't like that, and so if you are able to get to a pen show, one of the best things about a pen show is getting your pens grounded if you have pens that you want to be grounded. So I do have 2 pens that I am hoping to get grounded. They are my Sailors. I know they're very expensive pens, and so some people have a tendency to be afraid of getting their expensive pens grounded because it's so expensive. It should be beautiful and write beautiful as they are with how expensive they are. But to me personally, I think that an expensive pen is more worth grounding to be this perfect special nib grind for you. The reason I'm grinding these 2, this is my Sailor Pro Gear Kisan. You can see how beautiful that is in the light. Oh my gosh. And then the Sailor Pro Gear Yoseka Home. So I chose these 2 because they're medium nibs and they just write so darn broad. And so because of that, I know that the flow of the pen is going to be great with most inks. So, but I just don't like that really broad line. And so I think I'm going to grind this one to a cursive smooth italic. I have a CSI on my Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age, but that's a very, very soft gold 23 karat palladium nib. And I wanted to experience it on my Sailor. I'm so excited for it. And then my home, I'm not sure yet what I want on it. Probably grind it down to like, I don't know. If any of you guys have experience with Gina Salarino, I have her booked for a 30-minute session, so that should be enough to grind these 2 pens. I know that I've gotten a journaler nib from Gina, and I also want the CSI from Gina as well. They left the Sailor feedback on my previous Sailor, and I just love it so much. So I'm very excited to work with Gina again. Speaking of Nibmeisters, about 2 weeks before the show starts, that's when most Nibmeisters open up their sign-up sheets. So yesterday was the day that Kirk Spear, the Nibsmith or the Nib something, and Custom Studios, Gina, they opened up all of their sign-ups, and Kirk's was gone in a matter of seconds. I checked, I did check way later, about 30 minutes afterwards, and there was no way to sign up. It was all sold out. Like, Kirk is just well known. So if one of you guys are watching my video that signed up for Kirk, good job. But that's okay. I will get another chance to sign up for Kirk's grinding. I just want to experience all of them, all the nib grinders. So there's no specific grinders that I am favored towards. But I have worked with Gina before, and she had some slots opened. I checked 40 minutes after their slots opened up, and there was still some left. So I would say that within the first 3-4 hours of opening the nib grinding appointments online, that they will get booked up. So you want to check the website pretty often, you know, like the Chicago Pen Show website or San Francisco Pen Show website. Make sure you check those about a month before the Pen Show happens, in case they update when the scheduling signups will be for Nibmeisters, because you do not want to miss out. If you do miss out, there is a possibility that some of the Nibmeisters will take your pens and they will work on it and ship it to you later. So that's what Gina did with me. I did not have an appointment with her during the last San Francisco Pen Show, so I just left my pen with her and she mailed it out to me, and it was great. I only waited about a month and a half, so not bad. Definitely sign up for Nibmeisters. They are one of the best things to experience there at the Pen Show. Definitely try out all of their nib grinds that they have on there for you, so that you can tell which one you might want to try out if you don't already know which nib grind you want. So I think that's what I will do when I get to Gina's. I'll have her grind my red one to CSI first and ponder about the other one while I try all of Gina's nib grinds. And then I also have this. I bought this Schmidt nib. This is a Benu number 5 nib, so it goes on the Talisman model. This is my favorite pen from Benu, but I don't write with it because it's got a broad nib. The broad nib handles shimmers, but I don't want giant shimmery writing in my journal. My writing is kind of like in the middle. It's more like a medium to a fine, but I do write bigger than general, and the broad nib just writes so big I can't write anything small with that. So I ended up buying a fine nib from Vanessa because Benu nibs just are grounded much broader, and so I got this fine. It writes like the perfect line width for me in terms of a Western fine. However, it was so scratchy. Like, of all the luck to, like, I know that Benu nibs are tuned pretty well, but then the ones that don't come in a pen are not tested. I don't know. Not sure how they do that. Like, I wish that they would be testing all their nibs as they're being shipped out, but it looks like the 2 nibs I have that were on my Benus, they rode perfectly. They're buttery smooth, absolutely beautiful flow, and then I get this one replacement nib and it is so scratchy. So I mean, all I want is to have Gina like just tune it and run it through either grip paper, or if she has another way to smooth out the nib. I hope that that's not going to incur me a $30 fee, because most tuning services are about $30. I don't want to not pay them for that for fixing this nib for me, but at the same time, I'm just like, it really sucks that you have to pay to get a nib fixed when you already bought it and it's supposed to write well. So that's just my dilemma with this one nib. Like, if I can tune it myself, I should. And so I need to learn how to do that. So I will talk to Gina and see what her thoughts are. I mean, it's like, I will pay her, but at the same time, I also feel like if it's something I can fix myself, like, I don't need to have Gina put her time into something that I should be able to learn myself without needing to pay a big, amount of money for it. Now, if it's a pen that I need to be grounded down to a specialty nib and it's not perfect to begin with, it's scratchy, then I would pay for that. I will pay for the service to have it grounded and to make sure it is tuned well. But this one, I like the fine tip. I just need the scratchiness out of the way. We'll see what my conversation with Gina turns out to be. And then I also grabbed a spot with the Nibmeister, or the Nibsmith. I don't think it's like, not the Nibsmith. Let me see. Yes, so I have another appointment with the Nib Tailor, which is one of the 3 Nibmeisters that I saw on the roster on the Chicago Pen Show website. And they do 17-minute intervals, which is enough for one specialty grind or multiple like tuning stuff. So I'm like, if I need to tune 3 pens, that's like $90 already. And I feel like tuning and smoothing should be something that at this point in my journey that I should know how to do, especially for the cheaper steel nibs. The Schmidt nib is quite affordable. It's like $25. So like, it's like you gotta spend another 30, like another nib worth of money to get it fixed when I could just probably buy another one and fix this one myself. So again, there's that dilemma. Like, I'm not saying that I shouldn't or don't want to pay the Nibmeisters for that service that they provide, but at the same time, like, it's just not worth it to me. I know that when I worked with CY, I'm not saying that CY is going to do this for everybody, but I had CY worked on 3 or 4 of my pens, and then I had my Sailor Pro Gear Slim Spring Rain that it wrote really dry and it scratches as I'm writing. So I just told him, hey, could you just take a look at this and see if you can like smooth it out for me? And he smoothed it out for me for free because I had 4 of the pens that I paid for. I guess if it's small enough, depending on your Nibmeister, they probably might not charge you. But I'll still talk to Gina. If she, if it's a super quick fix, she might not charge me. But if it's not, then I'm more than happy to pay for it. And then ask Gina for how I can do this myself, because if it's something I can do myself after. So I guess that's another great thing about meeting with Nibmeisters, is that they are full of knowledge that you can ask as many questions as you can so that you can become more knowledgeable and more well-equipped to handle your pens in the future, or to know when issues arise and how to deal with it. The next thing about pen shows is just meeting all the vendors, trying out new pens that you have not tried before, and trying all the new inks. So at the San Francisco Pen Show, there was a whole table of fountain pens and inks, like fountain pens inked up with new inks, and you can test every single ink there. What you need is your own notebook or your own paper that you will write with at home, because if you test it on other paper, like, you won't know how exactly the ink is going to behave in the paper that you have. So I suggest bringing a blank notebook or 2, depending on how many types of paper you have. I am bringing my 2 Tomoe River paper, the Sanzen and the old Tomoe River paper. So I have in here my journal, let's see, that I do like reviews with, and so I'm just going to dedicate some pages in here for ink testing and pen testing as well. So it's got the regular notebook from the regular Tomoe River paper, and this is just a graphed graded paper. so you can see there. And this should show how the inks will behave on old Tomoe River paper. Not that that matters too much into the future, but the weeks still use the Tomoe River paper, so I don't want to bring my weeks just because I have them specifically for their purposes, and so I don't want to use them as test papers. But I could probably use the back. There's a ton of note pages in the back. Maybe I could do that. And then I also have my my one piece day free that I can probably also test. So these are undated pages that I could just use to test all the inks and pens in here and have a reference to look back at. This is new Dsgn paper, so I think that's why for sure I'm gonna have this one tested, or use this one to test inks, because moving forward we're gonna be using Dsgn paper for Hobonichi. So that's all I have in this bag. The rest of it is empty because I am hoping to use this bag to carry ink bottles and other ink stuff or pens that I buy at the show. I don't expect to buy too much at the Chicago Pen Show because I am about to be buying my Hatsuyuki, or the First Snow Platinum pen from Japan, very soon. So I am dedicating about $350 to that pen already, and so I'm not going to be buying too many pens from Chicago unless there's like really a pen that I have wanted and it's in my pen wish list. So I'm going to try not to buy any pens that are not in my wish list or that I have not thought about in the past. The main goal is to try all the pens in my hand to have a feel for them so that I can buy them online when there are clearances. So I know that the purpose of pen show is, another big purpose of a pen show is to feel the pen and buy the pen that you know is going to be good for you, but also, like, I don't want to rush myself into buying pens because there was a pen that I bought last year at the San Francisco Pen Show and I wasn't happy with it. So really, it should be a place to buy pens that have been on your wish list, that you've been eyeing for a very long time, and if it's within your price range. I know a lot of people say that try not to haggle with the pen vendors there because, yes, that does kind of come off a little rude, but personally, I wouldn't haggle a price that's really discounted because that's not the point of a pen show. People, all the vendors spend a lot of money to move all their products there, to buy their plane tickets to get there, and then they have to buy a booth too. So it's a lot of money on their part already, and whatever price they give you, like if you really need to haggle, I would say do not go much cheaper than what they are asking for. So, and most of the time the vendors there are already reducing the price of the pens for you. For example, at the San Francisco Pen Show, I'm just gonna start calling it SF Show, the SF Pen Show, Drongul, I guess the owner of Drongul, he offered the Aurora pen to me. It was a really gorgeous turquoise Aurora, and it was sterling silver. The retail of that is about $1,300 or $1,100, and he said he can go down to $920 for me, and I was just pondering, $920, okay. I have enough, but am I just going to spend all of my budget on that? So yeah, I know, like, you don't have to say yes to them, and you don't also have to haggle either. So definitely walk around. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be walking around asking prices, fine, and just know the value of all the pens that I walked through. Maybe I'll write them down so that I know and don't forget, and then I can always go back the next couple of days. So I have here is this 40 pen case that I am planning to put all my pens in, because another reason for going to pen shows is to meet friends and share your pens with them so that they know how your pens write like. They can make much more well-informed decisions when they buy pens online. So if I have a pen that they don't have, they can pick it up and write with it. I'm fine with that because I know that you all are pen enthusiasts and you will handle my pen with care, just as I would handle yours. So that is my plan with this. Oh gosh, that is my plan with this 40 pen case. I bought it from Endless Pens during their Black Friday sale for like $50. This is like $140 and I got it for $50, and I'm just like, I'm gonna definitely have a use for that. I don't have a 40 pen case, and so that's my very only one, and I don't need any more than that. I will be able to bulk carry all my pens. I think I'll just probably bring 1 or 2 of the same brand, or maybe bring all of them, because as you can see, all my beautiful Leonardos, let me just bring you closer. Like, why should I not bring all of those to have people look at in person? I do enjoy my Leonardos. They are so beautiful. So that's what I'll be bringing, my large pen case, so that Claire and whoever else that I meet there can try my pens, and I'll try theirs as well. And then I have 2 notebooks. You can bring your Weeks, your Hobonichi, or just loose paper, and maybe a tiny notebook, or field notes is good as well. Yeah, so you want to carry light enough that you can also put pens and inks into your bags. So I've talked about a few of the benefits and pros of going to a pen show, or like what you want to do there, or at least what I would like to do. And something else you want to prepare ahead for yourself is make sure you have a budget. I know that a lot of pen vendors at the SF Pen Show do take credit card, and they don't charge tax or anything like that. Some of the older vendors, or the vendors that would rather take cash, will charge tax if you use card transactions. Some of them don't charge tax, but the safest bet is to have cash, and everyone's going to take cash. Just have some amount of physical cash on you in case you do need to use that. I would say that if they don't charge tax for a card transaction, go with that first. And then if they do charge tax, or if they prefer cash, then use your cash. That's kind of how I'm going to gauge it. Some people will just say it doesn't matter. If they say it doesn't matter, then I would go with my debit card. Yeah, so that's all there is for the pen show. I did buy the 3-day pass. It's actually 4-day pass, because on Thursday, May 2nd, I think, or May 1st, Thursday is for all the vendors to talk to each other and to discuss, to trade, buy and trade from each other. And it's also a time for buyers like me, or customers, to talk to all the vendors and buy ahead of time. So I did buy the ticket to allow me to also access that event. And then there's also a pizza night on Thursday night. So like, it's a great time to just meet all the vendors. And oh my gosh, I forgot to talk about them. One of the biggest things for going to Chicago is to meet Atlas stationers. So I am so excited to meet with Brendan, and I don't know if Brian's going to be there, but whoever is going to be there, I think all of them are going to try to be there at one point during during the weekend. So I'm hoping to meet Atlas Stationer there. I mean, I'm going to meet them. But I'll hope to talk with Atlas Stationers during the Thursday vendor meet, as well as during the pen show. And then on Saturday, I'll be going to the I'll be going down to Chicago, downtown Chicago, and see Atlas Stationers, the physical store, and take a picture there with some of my friends. I think that's gonna be so much fun. And yeah, I'll take lots of videos, lots of pictures for you guys, so I can create a whole experience of being at the Chicago Pen Show for you guys. I'm expecting it's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's probably not gonna be as big as the SF Pen Show, but it'll just be as great. Sad thing, Sailor's not gonna be there, but Platinum and Pilot will be. So I will do all my Sailor shopping at the SF show in August. But my friends and I, we are planning to go to downtown Chicago and other places to spend Saturday in Chicago, and then we'll be spending all of Friday and a little bit of Sunday morning at the pen show. So that's our goal. I know that Saturday also has the auction, or maybe it's Friday night, but I think the auction will be fun too to go to. I don't think I'll be bidding on anything, because it gets really expensive, and I'm not about to buy expensive pens unless I have tons of money, and I don't have tons of money. Okay, I don't think a lot of us have tons of money to bid at the auction, and that's okay. So that's my plans for that's my plan for the Chicago Pen Show. I'm super, super excited. And if any of you guys are going to the Chicago Pen Show, please let me know down in the comments so I can look out for you. Oh boy, what was that? Oh. Put it down in the comments if you're going to be at the Chicago Pen Show. I would love to see anybody and everyone. I know, again, like I said, Claire is going to be there. I'm going to shout out to Charmaine. She might be there as well. And I say might because none of these are set in stone, but I will be there. So, yeah, super excited. If you have any questions or anything that you want to see specifically that I can look for, because I'll be taking as many videos as I can. And if you want something, if you want to see something, put it down in the comments so I can definitely look out for those things when I make my videos. You have 2 weeks before then. That's why I'm putting this video out now. And yeah, so whew, that's enough talking. Thank you for spending your Sunday with me, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.